Hey guys, John here. I want to try something different today. I think I've mentioned before that I really like creepypastas online, like listening to them, reading them, etc, etc. But I actually spent last night writing one, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a dramatic reading of it for my own channel. And so that is what this is. So enjoy my first attempt at a creepypasta. Enjoy. Let me start by giving some background information. By now, Sonic the Hedgehog on the Xbox 360, more commonly known as Sonic 06, is famously known as being one of the worst games ever made. But back before it was released, it was a game that I was very excited for, having been a huge Sonic fan as a kid. Going back to the July of that year, I was web surfing at home, you know, the usual YouTube and Facebook combination, looking at everything yet nothing. I loaded up one of the Facebook groups I'd joined, one of the buy and sell pages, you know the ones. I was living on my own, earning minimum wage at this point, so money was tight and Craigslist was unknown to me. Scrolling down the page, I saw the usual: a couch for sale, a toaster free to a good home, someone advertising PC maintenance. And then I saw it. Sonic the Hedgehog Xbox 360 review copy, £20 or next offer. My gut tensed with excitement. Surely not, I thought. But the chance to play it before everyone else and actually own an uncut review copy of a game was something I just had to follow up on. I messaged the user expressing my interest. And then nothing. A few days passed and there was still no reply. I snickered to myself. I should have guessed it. It was a fake. 3 weeks passed and I'd forgotten all about the listing when I finally received a reply. There were no formalities expressed and the reply simply read, "Address, no payment needed." Finding the reply a little rude but overjoyed at getting the game for free, I hurriedly sent the user my address. I instantly received a reply of, "Thanks." I had nothing better to do at this point, and my curiosity got the best of me, so I decided to check out their profile. It seemed to scream fake account. There were no wall posts, there was no general information, their profile picture was very unclear and impossible to make out. And then I noticed the name for the first time. Sonic Hogue. A fake name if ever I'd seen one. It looked like a kind of psycho killer's fake account. And now they knew my address. 2 days passed, filled with unease and anxiety, when I received a parcel through my letterbox. I opened it, not really certain what to expect, but I pulled out a genuine looking Xbox 360 jewel case with plain white paper where the sleeve would usually be. On the front of this, written in permanent marker, was Sonic, and then 360 written in between brackets. Opening the case, the game looked legit. Not wasting any time, I placed the disc into my console and clicked the power button. I had autoplay set up on my Xbox, so the game loaded up straight away. A notification popped up saying that my internet had disconnected, as it does with most new games, due to requiring an update. But this time, no update prompt appeared. Makes sense, I suppose, I thought to myself. I was playing an unreleased game after all. The title screen appeared while Zebrahead's In His World played. I pressed start and started up the campaign. I began to watch the intro cutscene, marvelling at the graphics, which were fairly good for the time, and laughing at how disgusting Dr. Eggman looked. When the cutscene ended, I was thrown into Soliana. I decided to leave the controller alone for 10 seconds, just to take in the location. But after 3 seconds, the game violently glitched up into a rainbow of horizontal colours all across my screen. A little shocked, I reset the game. A review copy is bound to have a bug or two. This time, after the intro cutscene, I was once again put into Soliana. I pushed upward on the joystick and nothing happened. I pressed all of the other buttons and still nothing happened. I huffed. What the fuck? As I got up to reset my console again, and then it happened. Sonic began to slowly turn to face the location of the camera. His face looked up and his eyes met mine, but didn't. It's hard to explain, but it felt like he was looking inside me. And then he slowly and sarcastically said, "You were too slow." Except this phrase didn't emerge from the TV speakers. It was inside my mind. It sounds insane, I know, but bear with me. At this point, the game once again glitched out. I was a little spooked, but figured the voice inside my head was some kind of stress-induced hallucination from having a good 20 minutes of my time wasted. I once again reset the console, telling myself that this was my very last attempt to play the game. This time, when I got back to the title screen, instead of hearing the Zebrahead song, there was complete silence. Figuring it was just another bug, which in hindsight was idiotic given all of the previous evidence that had presented itself to me, I press start. The intro cutscene plays again, but the audio is all wrong. The characters on screen are visibly talking, but all I hear is what sounds like what you'd imagine an old World War II radio news report to sound like, but I couldn't hear the words being spoken over the accompanying sounds of distant explosions and what I can only describe as biplanes flying overhead. At this point I noticed that the hair on my arms and the back of my neck had gone completely static. I shuddered and skipped the cutscene. My heart dropped into my stomach and my eyes widened. I was placed in Soliana again, but imagine this if you will. All of the buildings, roads and sky had a sepia tone to them, and all of the usual NPCs were missing. The usual happy music accompanying the town was replaced by what sounded like a wild animal gurgling in distress. But the most horrifying thing was Sonic. He was staring directly into my eyes again, but his eyes were a hollow darkness with small red pupils in the center, and his mouth was missing. He slowly started to walk towards the screen, not breaking eye contact with me for anything, and I heard a voice inside my head again. "You're too slow." The voice was an amalgamation of an irritated sarcasm of a pissed off Sonic and a throaty growling. He walked right up to the camera to the point where his face filled the entire screen. I dived for the power button, but it wasn't working, and he appeared to smile with his eyes. I know that sounds crazy, but he had no mouth, and yet somehow I had his terrifying grin burn into my mind. I heard it again. "You're too slow." He sounded even angrier, and panicking I shouted, "Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up!" as I removed the plug from its socket, damning the evil presence inside my TV to the darkness. Afraid to ever turn that Xbox back on again, I took it outside and I smashed it to as many pieces as I could possibly muster with a dumbbell that I picked up from my front room. Finally feeling a little safer than I was, I went back to my room. I loaded up Facebook on my laptop to tell my friends what had just happened when my peripheral vision picked up something in the corner of my window. But the second that I became aware of it, it disappeared. It's just my imagination, I thought. But with that fleeting moment, I received a message on my Facebook from Facebook user Sonic Hogue, and it simply said, "You're too slow." Hope you guys enjoyed that. So yeah, that was my first attempt at a creepypasta. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then let me know, and maybe I'll do a future one if I get bored and fancy doing more creative writing. And yeah. Thanks guys, bye. Bye.